let everybody filter in for a few moments while we wait for everyone to filter in. As I always like to say, please enjoy this nice starting slide and get yourself psyched for this morning's chat. Yeah, we're excited. We have today Queenie and John. How are you guys doing today?
Awesome. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, doing good. I'm excited. John, are you excited?
Yeah, definitely. I'm always excited for these industry chats, especially one like this.
Awesome. Okay. Well, so as folks are still continuing to filter in, I'll just go ahead and do some of the housekeeping stuff over here. So welcome everyone. And my name is Jenna Quinn. It's my pleasure as the Assistant Director of Alumni Engagement to welcome you all to this edition of the 49er Industry Chat. And I just will need to inform everyone that this session is being recorded. So what that means for you at home is that this will be available for you on demand on our website at www.csulb.edu/alumni. So feel free to come back to reference it, watch it again, send it over to someone who you think might benefit from it. It's all available for you. And since this is a webinar format, we're going to encourage all of you in the audience to use that Q&A function if you're here with us live today. You don't have to wait till the end of the chat. If you have a question, just go ahead and throw it right there into the chat or into the Q&A, and we'll get that submitted to our guest speaker today. And so with all that, it's my pleasure to introduce our moderator today, John Broadway. John is a proud alumnus of CSULB, graduating in 2017 with a degree in journalism. As a student, he was very involved in campus life as a president's ambassador, founding president of the National Association of Black Journalists, and participant of the Leadership Academy. John has found a way to merge his passion of filmmaking and social justice through his production company, Artivists United, which produces films, events, and merchandise that merge art and activism. He has remained involved in the beach and as an active volunteer, and we are, as always, John, very thankful for his time. And now it's go ahead, John, take it away.
Thank you so much, Jenna. I appreciate the great introduction. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our alumni for the industry chat, Queenie Donaldson. She is a businesswoman, a networking guru, and infopreneur. While pursuing her passion as a talent executive and producer, she also made a career of securing celebrity talent for some of the most high-profile entertainment events in the industry. In 2004, Queenie founded Queen's Entertainment Group, a global woman-owned all-inclusive small business based in Los Angeles. For more than a decade, Queenie has quietly worked behind the scenes as one of the most sought-after celebrity talent producers for various networks and production companies such as BET, TV1, VH1, Showtime, A&E, WeTV, Viceland, as well as Telepictures. She has also been the industry's go-to woman for more than 50 of Hollywood's most elite and luxury live events, global music festivals, celebrity private events, broadcast awards, blockbuster movie premieres, and national broadcast events. So please join me in welcoming Queenie Donaldson.
Thank you. Hi. Thank you, John.
Oh, of course, of course. So just to start off, right, can you tell us about what kind of led you to your CSULB and like some of your experiences that really like impacted you while you were here at Long Beach State?
Absolutely. Well, I am originally from Fresno, California. And so I knew I wanted to move from there. And I've always spent a lot of time in the LA, Southern California area. And one of my cousins went to Cal State Long Beach. And so I just wanted to apply and it's an amazing college. And so I applied, left right after high school, moved to Long Beach, stayed in Parkside Commons in the dorms with the dorm life. It was amazing. And it was the best thing that happened to me. It was a great decision. I'm also a proud member of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. I pledged in spring '93. And so we just celebrated our 30-year anniversary. So the college life, I tell everyone to this day, it's the best experience I've ever had. And I always encourage people to definitely attend Cal State Long Beach. It's a great school. So I had an amazing experience.
Yeah, definitely. I'm also from the Central Valley area in Tulare, so close by Fresno.
Oh
It's
my
nice
gosh,
to see,
look at you. Okay.
it's nice to see others who made it out of the valley and doing well out here. Um, awesome. So can you tell me about what influenced you to study psychology? And then how did you take that psychology background and then I guess go into the entertainment industry or like shift into the entertainment industry?
Absolutely. So I always knew I wanted to help people. So that's where the psychology degree came into. So while I was at Cal State Long Beach, I worked as a therapist for autistic kids. I also was a teacher's aide at a few college, elementary schools out there. And so all my jobs in entertainment was definitely in psychology, definitely just helping kids and helping people. And a lot of people didn't know about autism. It became popular like in the 2000s, people became real familiar, but that's where I started, doing therapy work for autistic kids. And I wanted to be a forensic psychologist. That was my goal. I never had any interest in the entertainment industry. I was always around it in the 90s, but I knew I wanted to be a forensic psychologist. But one of my friends actually introduced me to a casting producer named Ruben Cannon. And while I was teaching, I was also interning. And so I worked with Ruben Cannon. He casted the movie The Brothers. He also casted Girlfriends and a host of other things. And I interned for free for over a year. I thought it was fascinating. I thought it was great. But again, I was definitely on my way to Pepperdine for grad school. That was my goal. And then he called me in his office one day and told me that I should work in Hollywood. And I was like, what do you mean work in Hollywood? He was like, you're great with these celebrities. He was like, you need to go speak to Sheila Frazier and Yolanda Starks at BET Network and in the talent department. They need a talent coordinator. And I had no clue what that was. And so that was summer of 2000. So I went and I met with them and they offered me a talent coordinator position on the spot. And so at the time, I had to make a quick decision. Do I pursue this? I was like, let me give it a try. And 23 years later, I'm still here in the entertainment industry. And to answer the second question, definitely my psychology degree definitely comes in handy dealing with a lot of personalities, egos, not just from celebrities, but just the industry people. And I think it definitely has served me well. That's why I'm still here.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've always felt that the psychology degree or field can be like widely applicable to a lot of different things, but sometimes it's hard to kind of see what that looks like when you're a student, I guess, when you're starting out. So it's nice to see that from someone who's in the field, or I guess in the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is always an interesting question. I'm sure the answer might not be easy for you, but what does a typical day look like for someone in your position as a networking guru, infopreneur, business owner?
Yeah, so when I initially started at BET in August 2000, we launched 106 in Park with Free and AJ. We launched the BET Awards, Comedy Awards. So I was part of that BET family on the West Coast while we were building the studio on the East Coast for Free and AJ. And so typically when I first started, me coming from being a teacher of 7 to 3, the hours definitely didn't look like that. So we were working 8 to 10-hour days, sometimes over 40 hours a week. It was very gruesome schedule at the time. BET was on fire and releasing all these new shows. And so I got acclimated really quickly as a talent coordinator. But then in 4 weeks, I got promoted as a town executive because I never told anybody about my background, being around the industry. So they saw that I learned really quickly. So I went from being a talent coordinator, which is usually you're doing the paperwork. Somebody else, the town executive books the talent, and then the talent coordinator handles all the paperwork and meet them when they come and tape. But very quickly, I was promoted to town executive, and that's where I learned. Yolanda Starks, who's my mentor to this day, taught me everything, how to book talent, how to build relationships. And so that's where I learned everything, and that's where I learned my work ethic. I never been a clock watcher. I just literally just worked. And sometimes it was 70 hours a week. Sometimes we worked 6 days a week. And so now, fast forward to having my own company, Queens Entertainment Group, I am in control of my schedule, and I make sure that I have a work-life balance, which I never knew what that was, even before the pandemic. So the pandemic definitely made us understand the importance of it. So now every day, it's not the same, but I definitely incorporate my me time, my self-care time. And I also have a team that helps me execute so I can run my business and not work in my business. So that I'm very grateful to be in that that arena right now to be able to function like that. So yeah.
Nice. So you mentioned something that I think a lot of students might want to know more about, and that was like your mentor who kind of brought you along in the entertainment industry. And I'm just curious if there were any mentors that you had while you were at Long Beach State that were really helpful, and also if there's like any advice you could offer students who may be searching for like a mentor.
Yes, I definitely used the EOP office. I can't recall everyone's name off the top of my head because it's been some years since I've been there, but the EOP office was amazing. I had some amazing professors there just on my pursuit to to my degree in psychology and just really being part of a sorority that really signified everything, having sisters and people in other communities. Like at Cal State Long Beach, all of us Greeks were like family, and we're family to this day. And that's, sometimes you need that sisterhood and brotherhood when you're in college, and you may be away from your family like I was. I was from Fresno, so I was I have family locally, but still, having that community of support while you're in college. In addition to that, making sure that you make that connection with your teachers and with the services, the counselors, that is so key, being in college. Like, use all the resources that you have that's available. And that's one thing, that I wish I did more when I was in school. But, if you are at Cal State Long Beach, definitely there's so many amazing resources on campus that can definitely help you guide your career and help you through college as well.
Yes, definitely. I agree 100%. I was always someone who tried to take advantage of everything that the college offers, and I really hope everyone else does that as well, because Cal State Long Beach exists to help people succeed, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So getting back to like your experience in the entertainment industry, I was really struck by the title of your slide that said longevity in the entertainment industry and like while remaining like your authentic self. Can you maybe talk about just like some of the challenges that you face just as like in the entertainment industry trying to remain your authentic self, and like how you've been able to like navigate that and like succeed?
Yes. Well, when I first remember, this wasn't my journey. So I wanted to be a forensic psychologist. And when I started working at BET, it was family. You know, they taught you, you know, the importance of sticking together. And that's where I learned, you know, the importance of family and working well together and making sure that we all succeed, not just one person. So me having that foundation truly helped me mold me in the entertainment industry. But when I went on to other networks, it wasn't always like that. It was very cutthroat. It was very challenging because I am an authentic person. I came from humble beginnings. I never forget where I started and where I come from, no matter what. And so, you know, people used to tell me, like, you're going to have to be this way, or you're going to have to do this. I'm like, that's not me. You know, I don't mind taking a long road and working hard to get anywhere in life. I wasn't raised like that. So to me, if I'm like, if this is going to be my career choice, I'm gonna have to do it my way. And that's remaining true to myself. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to hurt someone to get ahead or try to go around people or, you know, anything negative. That's not my vibe. That's not who I am. And it was hard, you know, and I know, I'm sure I missed out on opportunities or got looked over for opportunities, but I'm okay with that. You know, I didn't mind working hard. I know what the struggle is. I've struggled many, many times throughout my life. And I think having that foundation and also building a great circle, inner circle around you, and having that mentorship and people that are not just yes people and people who really want to see you win. I think that is why I'm here 23 years later in the entertainment industry, because I made it work for me. Yes, it taken longer for me to be successful, but I'm okay because I've earned it. No one can tell me that it was given to me or I did something negative to reach this level of success. No, I did the work.
Yeah, I love that. And I feel like when people are authentic and stay true to themselves, like they may not, like you said, you may miss out like on like certain opportunities if you're not willing to step over people. But I feel like the opportunities that are really meant for you and that will bring you around the people that you should be around will come to you just by you being like staying true to yourself. I love seeing how that's played out for you.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. To me, I felt I sleep well at night. And some people don't, because some people they're like, I gotta win. And now with social media, everyone wants to be famous. Everyone will do whatever it is to get that 5 minutes of fame. And to me, it's just, you know, life is so much bigger than that. And if the pandemic haven't taught us anything, how precious life is, how precious time is, and how important it is when we come together and work together. Like, I wouldn't even be successful in my own business if I didn't have strategic partnerships or me being referred, you know, out and having that reputation. That's more important to me. Yes, I've worked with some amazing celebrities and I'm blessed with that. But at the end of the day, it's just be you, and trust me, the opportunities will come and they love the fact that, you know, you are who you say you are. And that's what really helps, especially in the entertainment industry.
Yeah. You know, and speaking of the entertainment industry, we have a question from the audience. And they're wondering, you know, you've worked with so many big names in the industry. Like, do you ever feel like intimidated or starstruck and like how do you navigate that if you ever do have those feelings of like being intimidated or something?
Not really. I'm not the only person that I would say was Michael Jackson, but I actually had the opportunity to perform in front of him in '93 with we had a D9 Greek, actually it was grade 8 at the time. So I had an opportunity to be around celebrities even before Hollywood. But again, celebrities are human beings. I tell people that all the time. They're just like you and I. They want to be treated just like you want to be treated. So that's how I speak with them. That's how I talk to them. And that's, you know, they're no different from you and I. And so there are people who I definitely, you know, enjoyed meeting and working with. So yeah. But I'm definitely not intimidated at all. I work with athletes, every entertainer you could think of. I just treat them just like I would treat anyone else.
Yes. Cool. So we have another question from the audience. She wants to know, how did you know when it was time to venture off on your own and focus on your own company versus growing as an executive for another company?
Well, that's a great question, and thank you. It actually is my boss at BET/mentor, Yolanda Stark. She encouraged me to start my own business. While I was at BET, I was always doing things on the side. I was working the door girl at the hot clubs in LA. So people would come to BET, they were like, where's the clubs? I tell you the club that I'm working at. So it was fun. And I was always doing like little gigs on the side, and in between our hiatus at BET, I was able to work different award shows and other independent projects. So she called me in. Yolanda was like, hey, you need to start your own company. And I was terrified because that's just wasn't, I didn't see myself starting my own business, but I launched Queens Entertainment Group while I was still at BET and other networks and other different projects that I worked on. And it definitely didn't take off immediately, but I definitely made some mistakes. It was just trying to figure it out as I went, but by the grace of God, I'm still here. Queens Entertainment Group started February 2004. So 19 years I've had my own company. But I'm still work as a network executive, but in a contractual way, which is, I prefer anyway, because I can pick and choose different projects. And then, when you're an independent person, you can pick and work with different networks. You're not just solely in one network when you're full-time or work in that company. So yeah, so I'm have both of the, the best of both worlds, I should say.
Yeah, that's nice to be able to have that like stability and contacts with like the networks for the contract, and then still be able to have your own thing that you can kind of make in your image and do what you want with. So that's nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's after, so many years in the industry, you definitely know what projects, if things aren't impactful and it's not positive, I don't want to be a part of it. And that's the best thing of being, your own boss, that you can pick and choose that. So you don't have to worry about, being forced or have to do something that doesn't sit well with you. So I'm grateful to finally be in that position to do that.
Yeah. And so I'm interested in hearing more about what your entrepreneurial journey was like, especially like in that beginning stage you're talking about, where you said, it didn't necessarily take off overnight, right? And you kind of had to figure things out as you go. Can you talk a little bit more about like what that was like, some of the challenges and mistakes you may have made and like the things that you learned from that?
Oh God. And guess what? I still make mistakes, but not as bad as I did in 2004. So when I first started my business, and I'm very transparent, I'm gonna keep it real. I have paid someone to, register my business and set up the corporation and all that stuff. Mind you, I had no clue what I was doing. And one thing about me, if somebody refers, people refer people too, you're like, oh, okay, they're legit. Mistake number one, my company was not even registered correctly, and I didn't find that out until a year later when I met my accountant, who's still my accountant to this day, Margaret Gill. Shout out to you. So she got me together. I had no clue. So again, that's definitely number one. Make sure that you vet the people, especially when you're starting a business. Make sure that you do your own research and really check out even people who get referred, because I didn't know. I was still an executive at BET, still trying to start my business, just doing a lot, moving 100 miles per hour. And take your time. That's one thing I would say. You don't have to move so quickly. And so fast. And that's one thing that I know I made a mistake. I was just in a rush to do so much and get it done. But that's something I wish that I, would have known back then. It's okay to take your time and not have to rush so fast. And another thing is just also ask for help. Ask for help. And if you don't know anything, or if you see someone that's doing something you want to do, definitely try to really research and talk to them and really get the knowledge that you need. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And that's one thing, because I was, still kind of new in the industry and wasn't really sure, if people would help. I was always the helper. People, that's what I've been known for. Call Queenie. Queenie would know where to go, where to get a job, where to do this. But somehow early in my career, I was afraid to ask for help, but I didn't have a problem with people asking me for help. So that's something that you definitely ask for help. Don't be afraid, to do that, because that would definitely save you from making a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, I resonate with a lot of what you said, just from my own burgeoning entrepreneurial experience. And so I'm curious, on your bio we have listed as a network guru, and so I'm sure you have a lot of tips and tricks to offer other students or professionals who want to learn more about how they can effectively network. Is there anything, like, off the top of your head, I guess some golden rules or some really good advice that you would offer folks about networking?
Absolutely. While you're in college, definitely network with people who have the same major as you. Also seek, advisors who are maybe in the field that you're already in. See if you can shadow them, see if you can do a coffee chat with them just to get more information. In business with me, I network constantly still after, over 20 years. You never stop networking. I don't just network within the entertainment industry. I have clients that are in tech, that are in other organizations, that's nonprofits, that are different foundations that utilize my services. So I'm very, very big on networking, not just within your industry, outside your industry, and just definitely set up a lot of coffee chats and making sure that you really do that one-on-one connection with people. That's really important to me, and it's effective as well. I'm actually going to be teaching a workshop on the art of networking at the end of this month, just teaching people the basic one-on-one. Don't be transactional when you're networking. Just get to know people. That's really important. And that's one thing I've learned early on in my career.
Yeah. I love how you ended on noting that networking isn't supposed to be transactional, because I think a lot of people have that perception of it. But when it really comes down to true networking, it's all about just building relationships, getting to know people, like you said. Those are really great points.
Yes, it's so important. So in any field, anywhere, just, right now it's just like the world is so transactional. Like, what is it can you do for me? Like, offer something like, hey, how can I support you? Right now I use LinkedIn for my business. It's a phenomenal platform. When I connect with people, I ask them, like, is there anybody in my network that I can introduce you to, how I can support you? Not always like, this is what I do. This is, I'm very, like, let me learn more about you and how I can support you. That's, to me, this is how the opportunities come. And be authentic and be honest about who you are and what you do. That's really important to make sure that you represent exactly who you say you are.
Yeah, I love that. And so we have a question here. I know you mentioned the pandemic a few times, and I know that was something that was definitely a challenge for a lot of entrepreneurs and the entertainment industry, which pretty much got shut down. And so I'm wondering, like, how COVID has impacted your work, and what are some of the I guess the changes and the lessons that they took coming out of the pandemic?
The pandemic was a blessing and a curse. I'll just say that for me personally, because we didn't know, we were being pandemic for 3 years. And so what I did, I really focused on, virtual networking became a big thing. And so I just learned how to just be comfortable speaking. I was developing projects during the pandemic and just really staying connected, with my community and with people, because, we didn't know, Hollywood was completely shut down. I think Tyler Perry was the first person to, be able to show us how you can come back and work during a pandemic safely. But out here in LA, it was like ghost town. But I really just, stay true to being an entrepreneur, just still networking and doing the best that I can and working on my craft. And that was the best time to do it, and it was hard. It was because it was scary. We didn't know what was going on, and it's a frightening situation, but I am a Christian, and I believe in faith. And to me, it's like, faith without work is dead. So I just kept that. I'm like, I have to keep the faith. I have to keep working and doing what I can, and just know that we had no control over the pandemic or how long we would be in a pandemic. But just it really helped me build my skills and me handle some internal things that I needed to work on personally. So, thank God I didn't lose anyone over the pandemic from COVID, but I did, have some deaths in my family. But it also brought my family closer together as well. So as I said, it was a blessing and a curse, but to me, I made it work the best that I could.
Yeah. We have another question from the audience, and they want to know, like, what has been your favorite project to work on?
Oh, that's I think I have several, because I've been doing my favorite network job, I would say, early on was just working at BET, being part of the BET Awards launch, 106 and Park launch, to be part of the movement. That to me, I just hold dear to my heart. Like, that is just historical. And I'm just honored to have been chosen to be part of that. I'm really, really honored. Another highlight is also me being able to do Michael Jackson's 45th birthday party in 2003. That was an amazing, it was a last minute ordeal that came through in 5 days, but we made it happen. So I was excited about that. Let me see. What else? Just being able to have those BET Award moments, being part of when Michael Jackson surprised James Brown, during the BET Awards, just those type of moments. BET has been such a blessing to me. And I just want to highlight that, because sometimes, early in my career, people had whatever to say about BET. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for BET Network. I worked at Showtime Network. I worked at VH1. I worked at, Radio Music Awards, Billboard Awards, but BET is like, they taught me everything. I've learned so much there. So to me, that's the highlight of my career. Today, today's favorite project is I just wrapped for Oprah's own network. We just did the 50th anniversary of Essence Magazine. It's a 5-part docuseries that will be airing soon. So I was a celebrity talent producer for that, and that was a phenomenal project. And that's what I'm saying. I'm just honored that I have people who say my names in rooms that I'm not in, and for me to be able to still, be thought of. I'm very honored and humbled by that. So I love what I do, and that's what I'm looking to do for my own projects, to create opportunities and make sure that, I'm saying people's names in rooms that they're not in, so we can definitely all succeed. There's enough opportunity in the world for all of us, and it's important for us to make sure that we support each other.
Yeah. And so I'm curious, so with your business, do you work on similar projects that you do that you have done during your whole career working for like other networks and stuff?
For Queen's Entertainment Group, we have like me, Queenie. When I'm doing my network stuff, that's just me. So I'm contract and to book, a certain project for different networks or agencies for campaigns. For Queen's Entertainment Group, I have my own projects. I launched my first one last year called A Seat at the Table. It's an entertainment empowerment brunch series. It was an 8-city tour, and that's for entertainment professionals who need resources and guidance, who wants to work in the entertainment industry, whether in front or behind the scenes. I will be launching that again next spring of 2024. And so that's what my focus is now. I have a few projects, internal projects that I'm working on. One is my network, Art of Networking workshop. And then just a few other things that will be happening in 2024. So that's my day-to-day thing. But sometimes I get called and people need, me to do some production booking on a campaign or some type of project. So it keeps me busy.
Yeah, definitely. And so can you talk a little bit more about infopreneur? I was very interested when I saw that title. I think it's the first time. So can you elaborate on that a little bit more, like how that I guess applies to the work that you do with your company?
Absolutely. So one of my good friends, she's a PR person. She actually wrote my bio. And that's what she named me, an infopreneur, because as I said, over the year, people will call me and just ask, like, I can get you a job, I can get you an intern. If you need a contact, like whatever it is, I've just always been known to have the information. And so she came up with that title, infopreneur, and I just ran with it because to me, it's like being full of resources and information is really, I love helping people. I like when people call me and I can give them a resource or a referral. That to me is just, it warms my heart to be able to be helpful, because I understand, especially in the entertainment industry, everyone is not so forthcoming of information. And so, I like to make sure people have not just any resource, the right resources. It doesn't take anything from me. I always tell people, help when you can. Anytime you can, if you can be resourceful or make sure people have the right information. That's the whole part of me launching A Seat at the Table. It's really, really important, that I make sure people, not just in LA, outside of this city, have the right information and tools. And because I am very resourceful and have information, it's important for me to share that knowledge with people.
Yeah. Do you feel like that came as like just a natural extension of like the way you seek to network, kind of like your identity as an infopreneur?
I think so. I was just raised to, I think it's just part of my DNA. When I'm from Fresno, but I spent my summers in Texas. So I have a Southern upbringing too. I was around my great grandparents and grandparents, and they always taught me, if you can help someone, do that, be kind, treat people like you want to be treated. And that's just how I live my life. And I've always been this way. So to me, it was natural. It's a natural thing for me just to help when I can. And if I can't, I'll let you know. But if I can find someone, if I don't know the answer, I'll definitely try to get the answer for you if possible. But to me, it's very natural. And I just think everyone has this inside of them. We all have talents and gifts. We all have knowledge. And it's important for us to share when we can. What are we going to do keeping everything inside? That's not being beneficial and helping anyone. So I just think help when you can.
Mm-hmm. So we have another question from the audience I want to share. How has the industry changed the most, or in what ways has the industry changed the most since you started? And what a useful piece of advice would you give for someone navigating those new changes?
I think it's changed for good and some bad. With me, we didn't have social media, so the good thing is we were able to get out and you have to call people, you have to talk to people, and you have to get in front of them. We really didn't have the Zooms and all of that. So that was, a great thing about being able to communicate and without, being behind a computer and really have that human to human connection. With social media coming into play, it makes, see, with me, it's, I hate saying it. I have a love-hate relationship with social media. The hate part, I don't like people to be bullies. I don't like the cyber bullies. I don't like people tearing other people down and they don't have any consequences. The people feel like they can say anything they want to say. That's the part of social media I don't like. I love the social media, like the George Floyd moment, when we all as a global came together and really just supported each other. Cancer, like big causes like that, when we come together, the unity, the power of social media, that warms my heart. But when people use it in a negative way, that's the part I don't like. In regards to the entertainment industry, it makes it so much easy. You have access. You can record a film or a video with your phone. I mean, having access to social media, content is currency now. You don't even have to leave your house to make money. So to me, it's like use social media, especially if you want to pursue a career in Hollywood, if you want to be in front of the camera, do content, make sure you utilize all this social media and these platforms. It makes it so much easier than when I started over 20 years ago. So to me, I think that's what really changed Hollywood. And just in regards to me being a celebrity talent producer, now a lot of people, everyone wants to be famous. That's something that, I'm noticing as well. So just, if this is what you want to do, make it work for you. Make sure you use your platform to do something positive, to uplift the world, to be impactful. That to me is key with any, whether you want to be in front or behind the scenes, in any industry, really. Just make sure that you're being impactful and that you're, making a name for yourself in a way that's people will be excited and happy to, share your work and your thoughts and all the great experience that you have. That to me is amazing. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm curious too, was it when you started, or when social media began to become so prominent, like in your industry, what was that process like for you, kind of coming into something new and like folding into your everyday work? Like was it a little bit of struggle at first, or was it something that you were easily able to kind of like I guess?
No, I am not a social media guru. I can tell you that now. I have a social media manager who is young and fun and very talented. So that's their jam. It wasn't hard for me, but the first social media platform was LinkedIn, and I love it. I mean, once I navigated and learned to do it, I don't have personal social media. I'm a private person. I want social media to be for my business or if I'm promoting something. Me personally, that's just me. I just prefer not to be on social media. I actually like speaking to people, and I'm a little old school and new school at the same time, but I do understand the importance of social media for sure. So, definitely use it in a positive way. As long as it's being used positively, I'm all for it. But definitely, it's definitely important, especially when you're promoting like your project, your business and all that great stuff. It's really important to have social media for sure.
Yeah. Definitely agree. I'm still learning how to navigate as well too.
Yeah.
So I guess I'd like to know if you have like any final thoughts, any last words of wisdom that you would like to offer your fellow 49ers.
Absolutely. Well, to my fellow 49ers, congratulations on your journey. Keep going. Make sure that you're pursuing things that you're passionate about. definitely while you're in college, you know, if you want to be in the entertainment industry, reach out to people who are in the industry, you know, connect with them, use LinkedIn. Everyone's on LinkedIn professionally, like that I've seen. So if you have someone that you want to connect with, or, you know, if you want to be a writer, if you want to be a producer, or you want to do what I do, be talent booking, you know, I'm happy to connect with people and just mentor them or give them pointers and any type of resources, but definitely utilize your social media platforms and connect with people for whatever part of the industry that you're interested in. And yes, so that's it. Go Beach.
I love that. Go Beach. All right.
Awesome. Hi. Thank you both so much. I think I just want to say thank you so much. I think this has been such a great a chat and very informative. And Queenie, I loved hearing about your journey. It's absolutely one of the coolest things, right?
Thank you.
But you mentioned that, you know, folks had questions, they could reach out to you. What's the best place for them to reach out to you?
Definitely I'm on LinkedIn. I'm heavily active on LinkedIn. So it's under my name, Queenie Donaldson. You know, definitely send me a note, let me know that you were here at the chat, or you just want to connect with me. Definitely happy to connect and support anywhere I can.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. You guys all heard it. Connect with her on LinkedIn. John, thank you so much for being our moderator today. And
yes,
Queenie,
thank you, John.
Sure.
And Queenie, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. So for those of you in the audience today, thank you for joining us. And we'll catch you next time. And Queenie and John, if you could stay on just for a moment. But thank you so much, folks. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Yeah.